Okay, so this is the beginning of part 2, and this is the first day I've had a chance to get out here and actually work on the van. And I'm going to start by modifying that step. Now, you can see that little piece of blue tape right there. And I need to remove this up to this line right here. And I've already removed that part, and you can see the subfloor and the finished floor here. Well, this is going to come out, and what I'm going to put in there is I have a piece of this flooring that it's actually a piece of siding is what it is, and it's a scrap that Wayne had left over when he did some work on his house. And so I got a couple of them because I thought I could use them for something, and it's about the right size. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. I'm probably going to use my die grinder with a wheel on it to cut that. And let me show you what it's going to look like when I get done. Back in a little bit. Okay, I've got this roughed in, and I still got to get a little bit more support for it right there. But that's where the chair will sit. You see, I didn't really need a whole lot, but it gives me that little compartment underneath there, and I'll put my floor mat underneath that. I still have to anchor that a little bit better, but right now we're getting ready for dinner, so I'm going to quit for the day. So I'll come back with you with another one here probably tomorrow. Well, I'm back out here working on the van today, and it's been a few days since I worked out here. We had some record heat. It's just been too stinking hot to work outside in the afternoon, and then every time I'd come out here, it seemed like something would be more important. I'd have to go work on something else. So anyway, I'm back, and I'm going to finish up this little section here, and I got a couple things I'm not happy with the way it turned out. And one of the things I'm going to do is it needs to be anchored at the bottom there. So I'm going to put this, I got this clamp here, and I'm going to put this clamp on it to hold it in place. And then I'll put tape around the bottom of it here to so I know exactly where that bottom's going to sit. And then I'll remove the whole thing and drill from the top to make sure I get the hole in the right place. The thing I want to do is, this looks awful industrial here. It's just a piece of 2x6, and I don't like the way it looks. And I think before I put it in there permanently, I think I'm going to try to shape it and give it a little bit of personality, and maybe cut it in a little here at the top and round it a bit. And then I'll probably put some stain on it, make it a little darker, but try to make it look a little bit better than it does now, and it looks kind of plain now. So I got to do all that, and so let me do that, and I'll get back with you, and I'll let you know how it turns out, and show you what we come up with. But I want to try to knock this part out today, because next I want to go tackle that shelf over there. So I'll be back with you here in a little bit. Well, it's a little bit later, and the clouds rolled in, so the sun's not near so harsh. It's probably, I don't know, 12, 15 degrees cooler right now than it was yesterday at this time. And so I got this part done. You can see I gave a little bit of relief to that bottom piece there so that it wouldn't look quite so 2x6-ish, if you will. Put some stain on it, gave it a little bit of texture. And so that's in there now. That's there where it's going to stay. And also, while I had the stain out, I darkened this here up a little bit, and I'm not sure I like that on my. It looks dirty now, so I don't know what I'll do with that. I might hit it with some sandpaper and lighten it up a little bit. But now that bottom section in there, the top section, of course, will support the chair leg with no problem, and the bottom section, it gives me a little compartment to put my floor mat in there. And that's just one of those rolled up rubber floor mats. I originally bought that with the idea to use it as to stand on when I was taking a shower, and also to get the dirt off my feet. So I needed a good place to store that, and that looks like a good spot for it. Now let me show you how this looks like with the door closed. See, this fits right in here, right up close, and is supported by the piece of wood that this carpet is fastened to. So it's got plenty of support, and that's what it looks like when the door is closed. So I'm going to call I'm going to call this part of the project finished. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go tackle this, tackle that drawer right there. I'm going to remove that drawer. I brought a box out to put the stuff in. And got the chair sitting there. I'll move it out of the way. And so I'm going to tackle that. And I'll be back with you and I'll let you know how that goes. Well, I got the drawer and the drawer slides all apart. And it's kind of a rinky-dink setup the way they did it in there. And so I was kind of sitting here contemplating on how I was going to address that. And I went back and checked in my stash to see if I had any of the right kind of wood or not. And well, sitting there, I did realize there was another issue I had to address. And that issue was, what was I going to do with my hatchet? Well, my hatchet used to sit right down where that shelf is now. There was a little place that would kind of sit back in there and stay. And so I got to looking at that, and I come up with all kinds of fancy brackets I could make for it and everything. And then I got to realizing why not do something simple? So let me show you what I did. These little pieces of Flapjack, you're going to have to get out of the way so I can show the people. Flapjack says hi to everybody. Say hi, Flapper. Hey, say hi. Say hi to your fan club. Anyway, those little carpet trim pieces thing are part of the original build on the van, and I was going to take them off and throw them away, and when I took them off and checked them, the door panel didn't go all the way to the bottom, and there's a gap there, so I went ahead and left them there for the time being, and they kind of tie in with the seats and the carpet up in front, and it's all old and needs to be replaced, but it's good enough for this. So I was trying to figure out what to do for my hatchet, and I like to keep the hatchet handy, not only for campfires, but you know, if I ever get in a case where I have to defend myself, you know, that makes I think somebody, if I come after him with that, I think somebody probably back off on it. I think it'd make a pretty good self-defense tool. So I want to keep it handy where I can get to it. So what I did is I just took that thing off and I put some furring strips behind the top of it. And now that hatchet will just sit right there and it'll stay right there. It's very handy. It's not going to rattle. It's not going to move. And like all those little projects, it took about 3 times longer than I thought it was going to. And I ended up pulling both of these little panels off and putting new screws in them and checking to make sure there wasn't any rust and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, now I'm back over to this part again. So back with you here in a minute as soon as I got something to tell you about. Well, I finished the project, and let me show you what I ended up doing. And number one, the drawer slides on this thing were bad, and the drawer kept sticking, didn't want to work right. So I had another set of drawer slides that I hadn't used from another project. So I replaced the drawer slides, and I had another piece of similar furniture. So I built an insert to fit in this drawer. Now if I want to get under there, that insert will come right out, and I still have use of the drawer. Not quite as deep as it was. But when I want to use it as a table, that insert will sit right there. It turned out pretty slick. The drawer slides work a whole lot better than the original ones did. I got to put a bumper back there. Still got to do that. And I think I might have one somewhere. I'll have to look for it. But that's how my project ended up. So I think I'm going to call it a wrap on this one. So as I always tell you, take care of each other, love each other. I've got another, I guess, part 3 of some of the van stuff that I'm going to do to this thing while it's still here. But for right now, this is going to be the end of part 2. So, as I said, it's still a little warm out here this afternoon, but it ain't nothing like it has been. And so, we'll talk to you again on another one. But I think this really came out looking nice. Gives me a place to set my coffee cup. I can reach it from either this chair or that chair. And I might even put me a cup holder here. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about it. But that's where I'm at right now. So I'll be back again with you in another one pretty quick. And so right now, I'll just tell you, peace out.